Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have something different in the form of the mighty quest for epic loot. It's been a while since we spotlighted a game other than Skyrim, and since we've been playing the mighty quest quite a bit recently, we decided to cover it in a video. Recently we received a beta key for the game, and after playing it quite a bit and enjoying it, we decided to feature it in a video. It's also coming out in open beta on the 25th of this month, so after watching the video, if you find yourself interested, then you can find a link to the game down below. If you've already played the game in the past and found it wasn't your cup of tea, then you might want to stick around for the video, because they recently released an overhaul patch that changed a whole bunch of the game's main mechanics, but I'll get into that a little later in the video. From the name alone you can probably guess what type of game the mighty quest for epic loot is, but what makes it more unique than the average dungeon crawler is that you actually get to play as the dungeon master as well as the crawler. So when you first load into the game you're given the choice of 3 classes, a mage, a warrior and a bowman, and you're also given your very own castle. The basic idea behind the game is that you need to collect 2 main resources, gold and life force, which you can get either by fighting through other people's castles, by completing objectives, or by building mines. You then use those resources to build different buildings in your castle and then upgrade your castle with minions and traps. As I said earlier, there was recently a patch that changed the game quite a bit. It used to be a whole bunch of timers, similar to some that you'd find in a Facebook game or in a game on the mobile app market. So when you upgraded something in your castle you'd have to wait an hour or 2 before it processed, or you could pay real life money to skip the timers. However, now they've completely removed that and instead real life money pays for themes, cosmetics, extra characters and a few boosts to things like XP, gold and loot, which in our opinion is much better. We aren't going to cover the absolute basics because it's covered pretty well in the game's tutorial, and if you've ever played a similar game like Diablo or any Dungeon Master game then you'll immediately know what to do. So as you can see on screen now, this is a standard low level castle that another player in the game has actually made. It isn't too difficult because his castle is also at low level, but as I level up I'll have to fight higher leveled castles which come with more rooms, creatures, traps and all the rest of it. You'll also notice that, as you'd probably expect, the creatures themselves also drop loot, and the gear system is very similar to that of Diablo or Torchlight. So you can find thousands of different items with different stats, rarities and all the rest of it. Your character also receives experience, and as you level up you gain new skills and abilities. At the end of each castle is the treasure room, and depending on how well you performed in the castle, you'll be able to loot a percentage amount of the person's gold and life source reserves. It's also a very social game. For example, the person who owns this castle could get his revenge and fight his way through my castle. Or he could challenge me to a time challenge where both players bet some gold and see who can fight their way through a random dungeon the fastest. And of course, the entire time, even when you're logged off, people from all over the world are trying to fight their way through your castle and loot your treasure. And when you log back in, you'll receive a combat log and you'll even be able to watch people fight through your castle, which is especially satisfying when they die repeatedly and eventually give up. And that's pretty much everything you need to know. It's mostly a casual game, at least that's how we play it, and it works well in between games of Dota 2, which we've also been playing quite a lot of. So if you're interested in playing, then you can find everything you need down below. You can also add us in game on the user Brodual, although if you're new you're going to have some catching up to do. But as always, we hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.